Hello, welcome back to another video, and today I have a very serious issue that I need to bring up, and this is something that has been really bothering me for many years. It has to do with smartphones and the way people are just using them and going about their days like goddamn zombies everywhere I go. And I'm not talking about locally, I'm talking about everywhere I travel around the world. I see a generation of zombies walking around looking like this. No social skills whatsoever. Everyone's just cradling their smartphones like a baby in their hands. And this is seen in every country I visit. And this has got to stop. If you are happy with the way things are going in society, if you're happy with the way things are right now, then you don't have to watch this video. But I do, because this is really hurting society. Not just Canada, it's hurting every society around the world. And that society is built upon communication. And communication requires one human talking to another human in person. That's what communication is about. I was going out and about my days quite happily without a smartphone back when I was a kid. And I have a smartphone, yes. Do I use it? No, I don't. I don't bring it with me everywhere I go. I think that people really have a really bad habit, a really bad attachment to their smartphones. And I knew this when it first came out. Like, I was in Korea when like smartphones first debut, like the first iPhone came out. I saw girls just cradling their brand new iPhones wherever they were, like on the subway or on the streets, looking down the phone. I see all this blinking lights and just attention grabbing widgets and shit, and I never fell for that stuff. I thought that was all stupid, and I kept saying to everyone, that's not a smartphone, that's a dumb user. Look where we are now, several years later. We have a generation of kids just permanently looking like this, like they have no more neck. Their shoulders and their hands and their thumbs are going to evolve into something like some sort of golem creature that looks like this. The sad thing about all of this is that people spend more time looking down at their phones than they do looking at people or interacting with people one-on-one. And that's just really sad. And it's really sad that I have to interact with you talking in front of a camera in order to get my point across. It's a bad habit, and I'm going to propose a solution for you at the end of this video. I think smartphones have become the new cigarettes. And what were cigarettes like long ago? I mean, if you think back, like at our grandfathers or great-grandfathers' generation, they used cigarette as a tool to just pass the time. You know, like when they wanted to take a break, when they wanted to stop and look around, cigarette was an excuse to do that. Or if they wanted to communicate with people, like other smokers would meet other smokers around a pit or a corner and they would smoke. They would ask if you have a light. It's a way of just reaching out to total strangers. Do you have a light? Smoke, and they would chat and get to know each other. This still exists in Asia. Like, you see Korean companies, businessmen, they all take a break outside and they smoke and get to know other people from other companies. They all just form circles and start smoking and start talking. And it's a form of communication. I get it. It's a way of bonding. I get it. Smartphone is another way of bonding, except all the people you're bonding with are strangers online that you probably will never meet. And these people are all around the world. Yeah, that's great, but are you going to visit them? Are you going to really get to know them in person? No. Just because they click like on your picture or they write a nice comment saying something nice about you, are you going to get to know them better? No, I don't think so. People that really matter in your life are the people that are around you physically. I think that's wildly more interesting to get to know people offline, in the offline world, than in the online world. Because I've met so many people from the online world offline, and they turn out to be the complete opposite of who they pretend they are online. Most of them are fake. Most of them have come up with a way to mask all of their flaws with filters or editing or just flash. I see through all that bullshit once I get to know that person, when I talk to someone one-on-one. So I'm here to tell you that smartphones don't make me happy. carrying a smartphone around, interacting with people with a smartphone doesn't make me happy. And I'm much better off without a smartphone these days. I'm gonna give you one more idea in your head, and you tell me if this is going to be true. I think pretty soon people are going to be buried with their smartphones in their hands, inside their coffins. I can really picture that happening, because who would you want to be buried with? The person that you spend the most time with, and this person you spend the most time with is your smartphone. That's all you need. And if you spend more time with your smartphone versus your husband or your boyfriend or your loved ones, your cat, yeah, you got a real problem, I think. I can really picture a lot of these kids being buried years later with their smartphones in their hands, in their coffins like this. And that's just so sad, really sad. So here's my solution for you guys. Anything that's done to a degree where it's just overkill, where you're just doing too much, spending too much time, is a bad thing. I get it, right? You work out too much, that's bad for you. You smoke too much, that's bad for you. You drink too much, that's bad for you. You eat too much healthy food, that can be bad for you too. You go crazy. Same with smartphones. You spend too much time looking at your smartphone, it can be really bad for you. It's a really bad habit. So minimize the time you spend on your smartphone. So how can you do that? Well, first off, you don't have to bring your smartphone everywhere you go. And this is what I do now. I don't bring my smartphone with me anymore. Unless I have to use it for a specific purpose, whether I'm traveling or I need to use it like an Uber, or I need to know specific information that requires a smartphone, then yes, I'll bring it along for the ride. But most of the other times when I don't need it, I just leave it at home. I would say that before, or most people on average, they spend about like 3 to 4 hours on their smartphones or touching their smartphones a day. I used to be one of them. I was swept up in that game in Korea. That's just too hardcore over there, the smartphone addiction. Thailand is even worse. Just seeing people, just millions of people glued to their smartphones, just not interacting, just not living in the moment is really sad. I just really want those people to just fuck off and die, because they're not really living life. So they don't really deserve to. Slap them in the face is what I want to do. Seriously, just wake them up. If I was their father, I'd slap the smartphone out of their hands and say, wake the fuck up. Live in the now. Now is now. You only have now. Put that smartphone away. Leave it at home. That's what I want to say to them. That's what I want to say to you. Limit the amount of time you spend on your smartphone. Do you really need to bring your smartphone along to the beach or on a date or at a meeting so you can check your Facebook messages, so you can check your Gmail, so you can watch a YouTube clip while you're taking a shit? No, you don't really need it. I don't really need it. And here's what's going to happen if you don't bring your smartphone wherever you go. You start interacting with people around you more. You start getting in the habit of talking to people. And that's what I love doing. If I don't have an answer, and I don't have the smartphone to answer it for me, I just ask the people around me, excuse me, do you know where blah, blah, blah is? Do you know where the mall is? How can I get to this? How can I blah, blah, blah? Get into that habit. Be more active with your community, with the people around you. That's what I would like to see. I just am trying to reimagine what life was like without smartphones, where we were all talking to each other. We were all interacting with each other. We all had a cigarette or not in our hands. I had a Slurpee in my hand when I was gathering around talking to my fellow friends. But we were communicating at least. And we were just fine. Passing the time. Living in the now. But now, I don't know what the hell's going on. It's just everywhere I go, everyone's face is down into a little screen. It's so easy for someone to say, well, just accept it. That's the way things are now. But no. The way things are can be anything that we want it to be. And I want to be around people who are interesting to talk to, not a room full of zombies looking at their smartphones. I want you to think of it this way. If you're using your smartphone, you're just masturbating in public. That's how I imagine you. That's all you care about. You're a narcissistic little shit looking at your smartphone and just totally self-absorbed. Okay? Stop thinking about yourself. Stop thinking about I, me, okay? I want instant, okay? Forget about that, okay? Life is not like that. Life is all about how can I help others? Steve Jobs made the smartphone to help everyone in society. He wasn't thinking about himself. And look what happened. It just backfired into his face. If you could look at society now and what he's done, has he helped society? Yes and no, I would say. Yes, in some aspects, and no in a lot. I see a lot of people who are socially retarded. They just can't hold a conversation. They can't interact or want to interact or get to know people. And that's a real damn shame, because there's just so many interesting people you can come across or you can meet that will enter your life, and you just brushed past them because you weren't paying attention. You were looking down at your smartphone. If you want to be buried with your smartphone, go ahead. All right? I can't help you. But those that do want to be helped, those that want to live a happier life, leave your smartphone at home. Okay? Venture out without it. Use this, okay? Use your smart brain. Okay? This is much better than a smartphone. Smart brain will encourage you to talk, smile, eye contact, get to know people. Okay, so that's all I have to say for now. If you agree or disagree with me, leave your comment down below. Propose some solutions if you like, and let me know what you think. And I will talk to you in the next video. Subscribe, and see you later. Bye.